Welcome! Tonight, we take a slow and peaceful journey through the soft light of the moon. Let the gentle rhythm of space facts lull your mind as we drift into the quiet wonder of the cosmos. Breathe deeply, relax. Let's begin our journey to the moon. The moon is about 4.5 billion years old. It formed not long after Earth itself was born. Most scientists believe the moon was created by a giant impact. A Mars-sized object collided with early Earth. The debris from this impact slowly coalesced into the sphere we now call the moon. This event is called the giant impact hypothesis. It explains why the moon is made of similar material to Earth's outer layer. Unlike Earth, the moon has no atmosphere. No wind, no rain, no weather. Because of this, the surface of the moon remains nearly unchanged for billions of years. Each crater tells a story that has lasted longer than any human civilization. Section 2. What the moon is made of. The moon has a crust, a mantle, and a core, just like Earth. But its core is smaller, just about 1 to 2% of its total mass. The crust is rich in oxygen, silicon, and aluminum. There's also iron, calcium, magnesium, and traces of titanium. Moon rocks brought back by astronauts are called regolith. They're dusty, grey, and extremely dry. The lunar soil smells like spent gunpowder. At least that's what Apollo astronauts reported. Of course, no one could smell it directly. But when it clung to their suits and entered the lunar module, it gave off that scent. Section 3. The moon's size and distance. The moon is about 1/4 the size of Earth. Its diameter is 2,059 miles, or about 3,474 kilometers. It's about the width of the United States. The average distance between Earth and the moon is 238,855 miles. But this distance changes slightly every day. The moon travels in an elliptical orbit. Sometimes it's closer, sometimes farther away. At its closest point, called perigee, it's around 225,123 miles away. At its farthest point, called apogee, it can stretch to over 252,000 miles. This difference in distance is why we sometimes experience a supermoon, when the moon appears unusually large and bright in the night sky. Section 4. Phases and faces of the moon. The moon goes through 8 phases every 29.5 days. This cycle is called the lunar month or lunation. We see a new moon, a waxing crescent, a first quarter, a waxing gibbous, then a full moon, followed by a waning gibbous, a last quarter, and finally a waning crescent. Then the cycle begins again. We always see the same side of the moon, the near side. This is because the moon is tidally locked with Earth. Its rotation period is the same as its orbit around Earth. That's why the far side of the moon, sometimes mistakenly called the dark side, remained unseen until spacecraft photographed it. The far side does receive sunlight, just not when we're able to see it from Earth. Section 6. Temperature extremes. The moon's lack of atmosphere leads to extreme temperatures. During the lunar day, the surface can reach 260 degrees Fahrenheit or 127 degrees Celsius. But at night, it drops to negative 280 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 173 degrees Celsius. This huge swing would destroy most life, but the moon is a silent, airless world. Some craters near the poles are in perpetual darkness. These shadowed regions may be the coldest places in the entire solar system. Temperatures there are as low as negative 400 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 240 degrees Celsius. And inside them, scientists have discovered ice. Section 7. Water on the moon. Water was once thought to be completely absent from the moon. But in 2009, NASA confirmed that water ice exists at the lunar poles. This water may be ancient, preserved for billions of years. It could one day support human exploration. Future missions may mine lunar ice for drinking water, or convert it into hydrogen and oxygen for fuel. The presence of water changes everything. The Moon may become a stepping stone to Mars and beyond. Section 8. Gravity and movement. The Moon's gravity is 1/6 that of Earth. If you weigh 180 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh just 30 pounds on the Moon. That's why astronauts seem to float or bounce as they walk. Each step lifts them higher, and each jump is slow and graceful. The Moon is slowly drifting away from Earth. Each year it moves about 1.5 inches farther into space. Millions of years from now, eclipses will look different, or may no longer happen at all. But for now, the dance between Earth and Moon continues. Section 9. Lunar eclipses and solar alignments. Lunar eclipses occur when Earth passes directly between the Sun and the Moon. Earth's shadow darkens the Moon. Sometimes it turns a reddish colour. This is called a blood moon. It happens because Earth's atmosphere bends and scatters sunlight. Solar eclipses occur when the Moon passes between Earth and the Sun. The Moon, though smaller, is perfectly positioned to block the Sun. This coincidence is rare in the universe. The Sun is 400 times wider than the Moon, but also 400 times farther away. This makes them appear almost the same size in our sky. Section 10. Cultural and historical Moon. Every human culture has gazed at the Moon. It has inspired myth, legend, and wonder. The ancient Greeks saw the Moon as Selene, the glowing goddess who drove her chariot across the night. The Romans called her Luna, from which we get the word lunar. In China, the Moon Festival honors Chang'e, the moon goddess who lives in a celestial palace. Many cultures believed the Moon influenced madness. That's where the word lunatic comes from. Section 11. Apollo missions and human footsteps. In 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first human to walk on the Moon. He stepped onto the surface and said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." Between 1969 and 1972, 6 Apollo missions landed on the Moon. 12 astronauts walked its surface. They collected rocks, ran experiments, and even drove a lunar rover. The Moon remains the only place humans have visited beyond Earth. Their footprints are still there, undisturbed, unweathered. They may remain for billions of years. Section 12. Strange Moon Phenomena. Sometimes lights are seen on the Moon, flashes, glows, or temporary changes in brightness. These are called transient lunar phenomena. They've been reported for centuries, though their causes remain unclear. The Moon also rings like a bell. During the Apollo missions, astronauts placed seismic equipment on the surface. When a module crashed, the vibrations continued for nearly an hour. The Moon is not hollow, but its dry, fractured structure causes long vibrations. Section 13. The Moon's influence on Earth. The Moon's gravity tugs at Earth. It's the reason we have ocean tides. High tide and low tide follow the Moon's position. This gravitational dance may have stabilized Earth's axis. Without the Moon, our climate might be more chaotic. The Moon may have helped life on Earth evolve by keeping the planet's tilt relatively stable. Some researchers believe the Moon also affects human sleep. Studies show that people may sleep slightly less during the full moon, even when they can't see it. Section 14. the Moon in the future. NASA's Artemis program aims to return humans to the Moon. This time we plan to stay longer, to build, to explore deeper. A lunar base could prepare us for life on Mars. Private companies are also racing to the Moon. They may mine lunar resources, build communication hubs, or even offer moon tourism. The Moon is no longer just a destination, it's becoming a gateway. Now let's talk about 25 Moon facts that some might not be aware of. 1. The Moon has moonquakes. Just like Earth has earthquakes, the Moon experiences moonquakes. Some are caused by meteor impacts, while others are triggered by the gravitational pull from Earth. These quakes can last for hours due to the Moon's dry, rigid structure that doesn't absorb vibrations well. 2. The Moon has mountains and valleys. Though not as tall as Earth's, the Moon has rugged terrain. Montes Rumca and Montes Apenninus are ancient lunar mountain ranges. Some peaks rise over 10,000 feet, and deep valleys like Vallis Shruttery stretch for hundreds of kilometers. 3. The Moon has no sound. Because there is no atmosphere on the Moon, there is no medium to carry sound waves. Even if you screamed on the surface, no one would hear you. It's a truly silent world, one where even the loudest events make no noise at all. 4. A day on the Moon is 29 Earth days long. The Moon rotates once every 27.3 days and takes the same time to orbit Earth. That means a single day, from sunrise to sunrise, lasts nearly a month. This creates long, cold nights and prolonged sunlit days. 5. The Moon may have volcanic tunnels. Beneath its surface, the Moon may host lava tubes, ancient tunnels left behind by flowing lava. These could provide shelter for future astronauts, protecting them from cosmic radiation and micrometeorites. 6. Dust is a problem on the Moon. Lunar dust is sharp, clingy, and gets into everything. It stuck to astronaut suits, irritated their skin, and damaged equipment. Because there's no wind or water to smooth it, each particle is jagged like glass. 7. The Moon has names for every sea. Though there's no liquid water, early astronomers thought the Moon's dark patches were seas. They named them things like Mare Tranquillitatis, Sea of Tranquility, and Mare Imbrium, Sea of Showers. The names remain today. 8. Some moon rocks are older than Earth rocks. Rocks brought back from the Moon date as far back as 4.4 billion years. Some are even older than the oldest rocks found on Earth, offering a glimpse into the early days of the solar system. 9. You can jump higher on the Moon. Thanks to its weaker gravity, you could jump about 6 times higher on the Moon than on Earth. If you can leap 1.5 feet on Earth, you'd soar nearly 9 feet on the Moon, slow and floating like in a dream. 10. The Moon doesn't have a magnetic field. Unlike Earth, the Moon no longer has a global magnetic field. However, some rocks on its surface are magnetized, hinting that it once had a magnetic core billions of years ago. 11. Time moves slightly faster on the Moon. Because the Moon is in a weaker gravity field than Earth, time ticks just a bit faster there. It's a phenomenon explained by Einstein's theory of relativity. Clocks on the Moon run microseconds ahead of Earth clocks. 12. The Moon's surface is covered in craters. The Moon is scarred with millions of craters, from small pockmarks to vast impact basins. Without an atmosphere, incoming meteoroids hit the surface unimpeded, preserving ancient impacts for eternity. 13. The Moon affects wildlife on Earth. Many animals, especially sea creatures, follow the Moon's cycle. Corals spawn during the full moon, turtles hatch on moonlit beaches. Some fish and insects also time their behavior to lunar rhythms. 14. The Moon was a calendar. Before modern timekeeping, humans used the Moon to track time. A lunation, from new moon to new moon, is about 29.5 days. This is the basis for many ancient calendars, including Islamic, Hebrew, and traditional Chinese systems. 18. No wind means eternal shadows and prints. With no wind to erase marks, astronaut footprints and rover tracks on the Moon could last millions of years. Shadows in polar craters remain frozen in place, unchanged by time or weather. 19. The Moon's far side is more cratered. The far side of the moon is rougher and more cratered than the near side. That's because Earth shields the near side from some impacts. The far side also has fewer maria or lunar plains. 20. The moon once had volcanoes. Billions of years ago, the moon had active volcanoes. These eruptions filled large basins with dark lava, which later cooled to form the smooth plains we see as the darker patches on its surface today. 21. The moon appears larger, near the horizon. Though an optical illusion, the moon seems bigger when it's low in the sky. This moon illusion tricks our brains by comparing the moon to nearby buildings and trees, making it feel more massive. 22. The moon has its own time zone debate. As nations plan for lunar missions, there's discussion about establishing a time standard for the moon. Lunar clocks would have to account for slight differences in gravity and solar time compared to Earth. 23. Apollo 17 left a message on the moon. The last crewed mission to the moon, Apollo 17, left a plaque inscribed with a message: "We came in peace for all mankind." It remains there, along with equipment and personal items from the astronauts. 24. The moon inspired the word month. The word month comes from the word moon. Early calendars were lunar, not solar, and based around the moon's 29.5-day cycle. Many cultures still mark months by lunar phases. 25. The moon may be key to deep space travel. With its low gravity and nearby resources like ice, the moon could serve as a launch point for missions deeper into space. A lunar base might one day help humans reach Mars or even the outer planets. 26. The moon has no atmosphere. That means no weather, no wind, and no sound. Its sky's always black, even during the day. 27. There are tiny glass beads in lunar soil. They were formed during ancient volcanic eruptions. Cooled rapidly in the vacuum of space, they shimmer softly in sunlight, hidden gems in the dust. 28. Temperatures on the moon swing wildly. At night, the surface drops below -250 degrees Fahrenheit. During the day, it can rise above 250 degrees. No clouds, no air, just raw solar heat and bitter cold. 29. Tycho crater tells a violent story. It's over 50 miles wide. Its bright rays stretch for hundreds of miles, visible from Earth, a scar from an ancient impact. 30. The moon is shrinking, slowly. As its core cools, the surface contracts. This creates small cliffs called scarps, like stretch marks, etched in stone. 31. Over 190 tons of human-made material sits on the moon. Lunar landers, tools, science experiments, and even personal items, all left behind, still and silent. 32. Astronaut Alan Shepard hit 2 golf balls on the moon. He used a makeshift club and swung in lunar gravity. 1 ball travelled for miles, drifting in slow motion, through a sky with no wind. 33. The moon is always half lit by the sun, but from Earth, we only see part of it at time. That's what creates the phases. New moon to full moon, and back again. 34. New craters are still forming today. Micrometeorites strike the surface regularly. With no atmosphere to burn them up, every impact leaves a mark. Another story written in the dust. 35. The moon has no magnetic field, but ancient rocks show signs of magnetism. Long ago, its molten core created a field like Earth's. Now it's faded, leaving only a whisper of what once was. 36. The moon's soil is called regolith. It's sharp, dry, and fine like powder. It clings to everything and has a scent like burned gunpowder, according to Apollo astronauts. 37. Sunlight on the moon is harsh and direct, with no atmosphere to scatter light. There are no gradients or soft shadows, only bright sunlit rock and total darkness side by side. 38. The moon doesn't rotate quickly. 1 full spin takes nearly 28 Earth days. That means half of the moon is in daylight for 2 Earth weeks. Then it sleeps in shadow for 2 more. 39. The far side of the moon was unseen until 1959. Soviet spacecraft Luna 3 captured the first images. It's more rugged, more cratered, and lacks the wide dark plains we see on the near side. 40. You'd weigh much less on the moon. Lunar gravity is only 1/6 that of Earth. A 180-pound person would weigh just 30 pounds. Each step would feel like flying. Slow. Effortless. 41. Earth looks different from the moon. If you stood on the surface, you'd see Earth hanging still in the sky. Big, bright, and full of colour. 42. The moon's orbit isn't a perfect circle. It's slightly elliptical. That's why its distance from Earth varies. Sometimes closer, sometimes farther, changing the size we see from Earth. 43. Supermoons happen when the moon is close to Earth. It appears brighter and larger in the sky. These events are not rare, but always beautiful and full of wonder. 44. Blue moons aren't actually blue. They're the second full moon in a single month. It's a quirk of the calendar, not the colour of the light. But the name remains mysterious and poetic. 45. The moon helps stabilise Earth's tilt. Without it, our planet might wobble more. That wobble could cause extreme climate swings, making life more difficult, less predictable. 46. The moon doesn't have seasons. Its axis is tilted only about 1.5 degrees. That means no spring or fall, no summer or winter, just constant exposure, or constant shadow. 47. Some lunar craters are in eternal darkness. Near the poles, the sun never reaches the bottom. Temperatures there are colder than Pluto, and ice can survive for billions of years. 48. Scientists believe water molecules exist on sunlit lunar soil. They're bonded to the minerals, and may be more common than once thought. Future missions could unlock new sources of life support, right on the surface. 49. The moon's influence reaches deep into our oceans. Tides rise and fall with its pull, twice each day, in perfect rhythm. It's a cosmic connection between rock and water, between Earth and moon. 50. Long ago the moon orbited much closer to Earth. It looked much larger in the sky. Over time, it's drifting away, about 1.5 inches every year. A slow goodbye, measured in silence. Closing. The eternal companion. The moon is Earth's only natural satellite. It has circled us for billions of years, always there, always watching, shining down in silence. It pulls the tides, it stirs our dreams, it lights the way in the dark. So tonight, as you drift towards sleep, know that the moon is still out there, glowing softly, keeping watch, and reminding us that even in the vastness of space, we are never truly alone. Good night from the moon.